Hello, everybody, and welcome back to We Are All Fine with me, your host, Heidi Lester. Quick health warning before we start. This episode is going to interrupt your overthinking. And if your mind has a habit of jumping to worst case scenarios, replaying conversations, or turning a quiet moment into a stressful one, you might recognize yourself in this. And if that's you, just stay with me for a few more minutes because today we're going to slow down that together. I want this to feel like a conversation and not a lecture. Like you've come into the room, sat down, and we're just gently making sense of what's been going on in your mind. Because one of the things I hear most often after over 25 years as working as a counsellor and a psychotherapist is this: how do I switch my mind off? I don't know why I think like this, or I know I'm overthinking, but I just can't stop. And I want you to know, yes, there's nothing wrong with you if that's your experience. Please know you are super normal. Your brain is doing something very, very human, but it is something you can learn to work with differently. So wherever you are right now, whether you're out walking, driving, making a cup of tea, or just taking a few moments to yourself, we are really glad you're here. Let's get into it.
This is We Are All Fine with Heidi Lester, counsellor and psychotherapist with over 25 years of experience. Join us as we unpack emotions, relationships, and mental health strategies to help you show up as your best self.
Let's slow this down for a moment because I want you to really understand what's happening. Your brain is constantly trying to figure out what on earth is coming next. That's its job. It's always scanning, predicting, and preparing. And when there's uncertainty, when you don't quite know what tomorrow is going to look like, or even the next moment, your brain will try and fill in the gaps. But it doesn't just fill them in neutrally. It tends to fill them in with the worst case scenarios. It's not because you're negative or doing anything wrong. It's because your brain is designed to prioritize threat. It's trying to protect you. So when you are thinking, what if tomorrow is really stressful? Your brain, it won't just leave it there. It sits with it and it builds on it. And it starts adding in detail to create that fuller, more worrying picture. And it's your body that responds to that image, that picture in your head, as if it's actually happening. That's why you can feel anxious on a calm evening, sitting quite chilled on the sofa with nothing actually going wrong. Because your body is not reacting to what's real. It's reacting to what your mind is imagining, the stories you're telling yourself. And for many people, this didn't start randomly. There's often a reason your brain learned to think this way. So if you grew up in an environment where things felt unpredictable, maybe where moods change quickly, or where maybe you had to stay alert to what might happen next to survive or stay safe, you may have learned that thinking ahead and thinking the worst thing could happen helped you cope. It's a survival mechanism. It gave you a sense of control, and it would have made you feel prepared, which would have been really, really helpful then. So now as an adult, your mind is still doing the same thing, even if your life may be very different now, even if you are actually safe. Your brain, it hasn't quite caught up. It's still trying to protect you in the only way it knows how. And there's also something else I think that's really important to understand. Your brain naturally holds on to negative possibilities more than positive ones. So even if part of you knows, oh God, I'm stressed tomorrow, but it's going to be okay, that thought doesn't stick in the same way. It might come and go, you'll feel it. But the anxious thought, the what if something goes wrong, that's the one that lingers like a nasty emotional hangover. And because it lingers, it starts to feel more true, doesn't it? And this is where people get stuck because it feels like thinking through all the worst case scenarios is somehow actually helpful. Almost like you're preparing yourself, you're getting ready. But in reality, what you're doing is putting your body through stress over and over again for something that hasn't even happened. And most of the time, won't happen. So let's gently shift this now into something practical, because awareness is important, but you also need something you can actually do when your mind starts running away with you. What I often say to clients is this: when your mind moves into what if, your job is to bring it back to what is. Not by forcing the thoughts away, you will never do that, but by grounding yourself in what is actually real in the moment. So the first thing I want you to try is very, very simple. When you notice your thoughts starting to spiral, pause and ask yourself this: what is the actual evidence for what I'm thinking right now? Where is it? Not how you feel. I want you to think of facts. And if your mind is saying tomorrow is going to be an absolute disaster, just pause and ask yourself, what do I actually know for certain? And often the answer is this: not very much. You might feel worried, but the evidence isn't there. The second thing is to gently question the likelihood. Think probabilities versus possibility. Don't dismiss your thoughts, just put them into a clearer perspective. So think about how many times you've worried about something like this before, and then ask yourself honestly, how often did those worst case scenarios actually happen? And I know this, for most people, it's very, very low, but the mind, it won't remember that easily. So sometimes just give it a little nudge and remind it. And the third thing, and probably for me, the most powerful, is bringing yourself back into the present moment, to the here and now. Because when you're catastrophizing, you are not here anymore. You're in tomorrow or the next week or some awful imagined version of your future. So gently guide your attention back. Look around you. Notice where you are, maybe what you can see, what you can hear, what you can maybe feel physically right now. For me, it's a table, and I can see the cat over there. And even something as simple as noticing the chair you're sitting on or the sound in the room can start to bring your nervous system back down, because you're reminding your body right now, in this moment, that you are okay. And I'll say something really, really important here. Catastrophizing is not anything you're doing wrong. You're not crazy. You're not mad. It's not a personality trait. It's not just the way you are either. It's a habit your mind has learned. And like any habit, it can absolutely be changed. It won't be overnight, but gradually. And every time you notice what is happening and gently bring yourself back to the present, you are teaching your brain something new. You're showing it that it doesn't need to jump to those awful worst case scenarios to keep you safe. So as we come to the end of the episode, I want you just to take a moment. Will you just pause wherever you are and just listen to my voice or watch me, whatever you're doing, and check in with yourself? Don't check in tomorrow. Don't check what's going on the weekend. Just be here right now with me. And ask yourself this: what is actually happening for you in this moment? Because it's this moment is the only place where your life is really being lived. And you deserve your attention more than that imagined future does. If this episode resonated with you or helped you, please share this with somebody who you think might need it. And if you have a moment, leaving a review or saving the episode genuinely does help more people find this space. And you can also reach me directly. I'd love you to. My email is Heidi, weareallfine@gmail.com, all one word. I read all of your messages, and they often shape the episodes I create. And you can find me on social media, as many of you are doing, at Therapy Applied with Heidi Lester, where I share simple, practical therapy tools every day. And make sure you join me next week, because we're going to go deeper down into the how with a massive episode: rewiring the brain, 5 skills to beat anxiety instantly. I will give you fast-acting clinical techniques to flip the switch on your nervous system the moment the panic hits. You are all fantastic. You are learning, you are adapting, as I am, and you are doing better than you think. Thank you for joining me. And remember, be yourself. You are no one else. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next Monday. This podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional therapy, personal diagnosis, or medical advice. These opinions, they are personal and I do not guarantee accuracy. Listening to this podcast does not create a counselling relationship. So please always consult a qualified mental health professional with any concerns.